Welcome back to the Bird Cage. I'm Jack Kenna, joined alongside Alex King, and today we're going to be doing a recap over Creighton's last game against Houston Christian and a preview. Looking forward to their clash tomorrow against UMKC. Alex, how are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me back on. I'm always glad to talk about our Jays.
I know the Jays season is we're in the swing of things. I was a little busy the past few days. I was unable to film a preview and a recap from the Nashville airport. So I'm glad that we can sit down here, talk about what we saw on Wednesday, and then preview tomorrow's game. Really, it's the last this is the last matchup before the real season starts. I don't want to overlook Kansas City at all, but on
I think
Friday, next
I think
Friday,
this
we
is all
have
overlooking.
on Friday we have the Nebraska Cornhuskers coming to town, and we hate them as much as they hate us. So it's gonna be unless you like them.
Well, I'd like to consider they're probably like my third favorite basketball team. So I don't
Yeah,
know.
they're your third team. But it's gonna be that's gonna be a competitive game. But we'll have to save that for next week because we have to talk about the Ruse and we have to talk about Houston Christian first. That game. Oh, I almost died. That game on Wednesday. What were your initial thoughts? Did you get to watch the whole game? Did you watch any of
I
the
gotta
game? I
watch
know.
I watched the last three fourths. I knew the start was disgusting. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
the
sure
start was
nobody
gross.
scored within like the first 8 minutes or so. But then I think we
Mhm.
gave up what, 12 in the first half?
It was something insanely low. I can find it real quick if you want. We gave up
Yeah.
12 in the first half. Yeah.
Yeah, the final being 78 to 43. Obviously, my prediction was that it would be over, I think, 160. So I think that was a very bad prediction on my part.
I also picked that and I was wrong. Yeah. I took the overs total score.
Yeah, this was a pretty disgusting game overall. But once we got into the swing of things, Ashworth started knocking down buckets. He looks great. He's really fitting into the system. And I think still the headline's got to be Kalkbrenner going 6 for 6. I think he's missed 3 shots all year. So that's pretty insane efficiency.
We'll talk about this as the episode goes on because I want to almost implement games into these like little previews and recaps, make it a little more fun. Maybe even chop them up, post them as their own individual clips. But when we talk about Ryan Kalkbrenner, like it's crazy to call him underrated because he is taking college basketball kind of by storm right now. Like if you talk about the media, you talk about the best players in college basketball, every one of those top guys are talking about Ryan Kalkbrenner now. That wasn't the case preseason.
Mm-mm.
And I kind of want your opinions on why is this narrative changing? Because me and you knew Ryan Kalkbrenner was going to have a terrific year, but a lot of other people didn't. So can we kind of talk about why do you think he's kind of taking college basketball by storm right now when it was
Well,
something that we expected?
I think the whole 49 points thing, that was a very good way to start off to actually get people to start talking about him. And now
Mhm.
I think game to game, people are looking at what he's doing, and he's shooting 94% on a year. Like that's absurd. He has three
Yeah.
misses. He's making his free throws. He made a step back three a couple games ago. He's really looking like a prospect, and we knew this would happen, but now people are talking about it, and I think it's deserved.
I think his ability to impact the game on the offensive and defensive end is what is getting a lot of people talking about him. Because there are other great centers in college basketball. Hunter Dickinson's probably, I think, the second best center in college basketball.
I'm gonna
But
see him match up.
I think right now, like, there's no center in college basketball doing what Ryan Kalkbrenner's been able to do. And I mean, I remember vividly we're sitting in your house talking about when we were at the College World Series talking about the best players in college basketball, and I was kind of getting made fun of by all of those old heads there, saying that Ryan Kalkbrenner is a top five player in college basketball. Right now, he looks like the best player in college
Yeah,
basketball.
you were completely right.
So I know I have a few bad takes. We don't have to talk about them today, but I think for every few bad takes, I can get one that kind of hits, and I think that one did hit. Um, we saw another masterclass for Kalkbrenner against Houston Christian. I think the one clip that kind of every Creighton fan and every college basketball fan saw was his block in the second half. And then he turned around and dunked on a guy.
Well, poster, yeah.
So I kind of want to get your opinions on the impact you think Ryan Kolkbrenner brings to the game. I know we saw Fred King actually have a very good game
Yeah. He got like
Wednesday.
11 points.
Um, Kind of talk about what you think Kolkbrenner really brings to this Creighton team.
I just think offensively, he obviously has a big impact, but I think when he's in the game, you can tell there's a difference. Like people don't want to drive because I mean we even saw him, he blocked a three. Like he got switched onto a guard, ended up posting him up, and he went for a step back three, and California goes up and blocks it. Like if he can end up guarding guards and centers, I mean he's just such a big impact at the defensive level that I don't I think we can match up with anybody. And then obviously offensively, he's not missing. He's making his free throws. He's getting rebounds. It's he's doing everything.
Yeah. He really is doing everything, and I think that's what's most impressive is the fact that he's able to do it all. Other players in this game that really showed out, you touched on it. Stephen Ashworth is having a terrific start to the year. Stephen Ashworth is having such a great start to the year, and I kind of feel bad for him because Kalkbrenner's start is overshadowing Ashworth's. Ashworth has been terrific to start the year. I think he had 25 points in game one, um, which was Kalkbrenner and Ashworth combined for like the second most points in Creighton history in a
They had
game.
like 74 or something
It
combined.
was it was something ridiculous, but he had 17 free throws. So I think that's what was kind of throwing everyone off. But game two
Yeah,
and game three, he has stroked it from behind the arc. Pause.
stroking
Three
it.
for five on Wednesday, and he's starting to feel himself in a Creighton jersey in the CHI.
Yeah, I don't think he's missed a free throw yet. And he also had 7 rebounds and 6 assists. He was low-key on a triple double watch.
Mhm.
He's filling it up.
Yeah. And I feel like Pop Isaacs is also having a great game or a great season. He didn't put as much into the stat or in the scoring column as Pop Isaacs typically does, but I feel like that's just kind of what you're going to get when it's the game that it was, when you're kind of up by a ton of points and a lot of other guys are contributing. Um, I really do like Isaac Trout in the starting lineup. I want to get
I
your
like
opinions on that because until Fedor Zusic is eligible, which fingers crossed is going to be pretty soon, I think Isaac Trout's been doing a really good job stepping up there in the starting lineup.
Yeah, Trout didn't have a fantastic game. He was 0 for 2 from three, but he made a couple layups, had a couple dunks. I think I really think he's probably the best option at the moment. Like, because Jason Green has not looked great. McAndrews still has some work to do. And I don't know what was up with Mason Miller. I think he has a slight injury, but he hasn't shown anything either. So I think Trout's definitely the best option at the moment.
I really like Isaac Trout. Obviously, he lost a little bit of weight to become a little more mobile, however you say it.
One of the two.
But he looked pretty good to start the year. He had a really good game one where he had a few 3 pointers. I think he had 11 points or 13
Yeah.
points or something in game one. And in game two
Total.
and in game three, he hasn't had as much success. However, Isaac Trout, what I do like to see is he attacked the rim in game three. Something that I was kind of surprised to see, and Nick Ball on the call was kind of surprised to see because he takes a majority of his shots from behind the arc. If Isaac Trout can do a little more damage inside and outside, I think he had good shots on Wednesday. They just didn't fall.
Yeah. Yeah, but he was wide open and they're obviously not air balls, like they're really close.
Yeah. I think I really like him. Obviously, King had a great game on Wednesday.
Love to
Um,
see that.
you love to see a legacy Fred King game. Hopefully he can keep
Yeah.
that up. Jackson McAndrew struggled. Like 0 for 7
Two
from
for
three
seven.
was not good. But
2 for 4
every
from
single one of those threes, unless I'm missing one, was like in and out. So
yeah,
close
back
to going
rim
in.
or front rim. It's very close. I'm not worried about that really.
Neither am I. He is a terrific shooter. He'll figure it out. Ty Davis got some good minutes. Overall, it was a great game for Creighton because I feel like after game one, we were all kind of shaking a little bit. Um, but after that, I'm not really worried. Any final thoughts about the game on Wednesday?
Well, I think overall this was obviously this was the win to get Greg McDermott to the winningest coach in Creighton history,
I can't believe
which
we forgot to talk about that.
yeah. Which means a lot. Like the videos I saw after, especially so there's one in the locker room, they do the "We win, we dance" thing, and that
Yeah.
was because they had Greg McDermott dance, and then he's poking fun at the players. He seems like a great guy. But then they
Yeah.
also had the video they showed after with the tribute video with all the former players and former coaches, and that I don't know, me personally, it got me emotional just
I was
seeing
tearing
everybody,
up. I was tearing up on the plane watching that.
seeing my whole childhood. It was very cool, and he means so much to this program, and he's been a great coach.
It's kind of funny because we literally grew up with Greg McDermott. I know
Yeah.
we were both alive for the Dana Altman era, but
Don't
our
remember
first
any of that.
memories of Creighton basketball happened with Greg McDermott at the
Yeah.
helm. And so it's really fun to be able to kind of almost witness it. I mean, I don't think I've missed a Creighton game since I was like a seventh grader.
Yeah, I've known
Like
like every score to every game since then.
we've literally we've been there. We understand it. We like you almost grow to appreciate what he's been able to do for the program because realistically, without Greg McDermott, Creighton basketball wouldn't be in the position it's in right now. I
100%.
I mean, I remember when our games were like we had to pay to watch them during the Missouri Valley
Missouri
days.
Valley. Yeah.
And now every single Creighton game's on national television. It's fun to see for sure.
Yeah, the strides that this program's made from the time that we've started watching is crazy.
Yeah. And none of that would be possible without Greg McDermott. Um, so it's really fun to see.
Yeah.
Um, the Creighton Blue Jays are back in action tomorrow to take on Kansas City. A Kansas City team who's 2-1 on the season. They beat up on two Division two teams and then lost to Iowa State on Monday. So kind of talk about what you hope to see from this Kansas or hope to see from the Creighton team when they host Kansas City tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, looking at Kansas City's, they beat HNB by 30. No idea who that is. They beat KCC 124 to 36. I don't know if that's like a team of girls or something.
Yeah,
They
Skull of the Blind maybe.
they won by 90, and then they lost 82 to 56 to Iowa State, who's obviously a really good team. Creighton lost to them in the secret scrimmage.
Mhm.
Me personally, I'd
Without
like,
without Fedor, by the way.
yeah, I'd like to see a bounce back offensively. Our defense was honestly very good.
Yeah,
So if we can keep that stable, get a little bit more production on offense, I'd like to see us win by specifically more than 26 points because Iowa State beat them by 26.
yeah.
And
And
yeah,
then
that's
if,
what I
if we
want.
beat them by more than 26, we're obviously better than Iowa State.
Yeah, and then we should hop them in the rankings for sure.
Um, yeah, I agree. I think our offense was really good. I think we're actually one of the most efficient 2-point shooting teams in the country, thanks to Kalkbrenner shooting like 90 million% from the field. He's that damn good.
Yeah.
But I think really the problem was I don't know if you were watching. I'm sure you were if you only missed the first few minutes. But um they took Houston Christian took so much time off the shot clock every shot.
Yeah. And then
Like they weren't shooting
one
early
guy was
shots.
just chucking threes and he was making some of them, but I mean, it was it wasn't pretty.
Yeah, they were taking a lot of time off the shot clock. That was their plan was to quite literally
Slow us down.
was to make this game a grinded out game for Creighton. To their credit, it worked for the first 8 minutes.
Yeah.
For the first even 12 minutes, you could say. But we found a way to get going. And I think that's something that's going to happen here. Creighton, I think, in every single one of their games so far has started slow, which I'm not a big fan of. I don't
Yeah.
want that. I want to blitz teams from the start of the game. But if we could figure that out, that would be super nice. Newsflash: this is going to be another game where Kalkbrenner dominates.
Yeah. Nobody
Their
can guard him.
tallest player is 6'10", and he is a freshman.
Yeah.
I would be shocked to see if they stick the freshman on Ryan Kalkbrenner because I think that is just a mismatch. Like I would hate to be a freshman in college and my coach telling me that, hey, I have to guard Kalkbrenner
Go guard this all
tomorrow.
American guy.
Yeah, no, thank you. I would expect um Kansas City to put someone 6'9", 6'8" on Kalkbrenner, and we've seen that
Triple
already.
double.
We've seen that already. It's gonna be barbecue chicken. It's not gonna go well for Kansas City. They're gonna have to figure out a different way to keep Kalkbrenner off the glass and out of the paint.
Yeah,
And I just don't know if that's gonna happen. I think it's going to be another game where our role players like to get involved. I think Jemiah Neal's had a pretty good past two games after struggling
yeah,
game one. I would like to see Trout maybe knock a few more threes in. Jason Green, if Jason Green wants to get a little more active offensively, that'd be electric. Um, and then Steven Ashworth's going to do what Ashworth does.
yeah. About Jemiah Neal, I think him realizing what he can do in transition has really been good for the team. Like every time he has the ball in transition, he's been able to score. Like
Yeah.
he's super athletic. He's can finish strong, and I've really liked what I've seen there.
He's a strong player. Like you hit it
Yeah,
on the head. That's what he's good at. Getting downhill, creating his own offense through transition has been his best offense so far this year. Um,
yeah. He's good defense.
he hasn't really shot the three-pointer very well, but we
No,
knew that coming into it. Him and Pop Isaacs have been came into Creighton as poor shooters. I think for Pop Isaacs, it was because he had to take every single shot last year.
yeah,
And in terms of Neal, it's just his strength wasn't shooting the basketball. However, Greg McDermott was kind of getting on Neal, or at least this is what Nick Boss said um, while he was talking about the game. Neal made a three-pointer, and he mentioned that Greg McDermott was getting on Neal for not taking the open three. So Greg McDermott obviously has confidence in him to be able to knock down the open shot, which is good. Because I think if we could get him shooting around 35%, I mean, that might be a stretch uh,
yeah,
considering what he brought over from Arizona State. But if we could even get him in the even the lower 30s, shooting the ball, I think that'd be pretty significant um, to our guys. And then really, we're just waiting for Fedor Zusic to become eligible.
yeah.
Um,
Have you heard anything about that?
I listened to the Crate Takes. They did an X live last night
Yeah,
where he went on X and was talking about it. And there's been a lot of other players in similar situations to Fedor who have been cleared, and a lot of people are hopeful that it's going to be within the next week,
yeah,
before the Nebraska game on Friday. So I think it's going to be really fun watching him play. Obviously, youngest European basketball player ever.
yeah. I
Like
personally just really
like
hope he's back before Kansas.
I think with Zusic, this team's ceiling really is Final Four.
I
I
agree.
knew Kalkbrenner was going to be good. I didn't think he'd be this good.
I agree.
Um, Pop Isaacs is looking electric in this new offense. Stephen Ashworth is Stephen Ashworth. We have depth this year.
Hmm.
Now we've talked about it before. Every Creighton team seems to have depth until we get into games that matter, and then
That's
that's
true.
where Mac will shrink the lineup.
Yeah,
But for some reason, this year just seems different.
I
I
agree.
seem I seem a little more optimistic with how many guys are actually getting time. Even in like the UTRGV game that was a little close, Shane Thomas was had our first dunk of the year.
Yeah,
Like I think if we can get minutes and get actual contribution from Fred King, from maybe Sterling Knox or a Shane Thomas or any of the freshmen, I think McAndrews will be able to contribute. I think he's that good. If we can get anything out of those guys, I'd be really impressed.
yeah. I think last year, even in the early season games, nobody past Farabello on the bench showed anything worth anything. And I think this year we have three or four guys that are really showing potential.
Yeah. I really like that. It makes us optimistic as Bluejay fans. I know we haven't had an opportunity to watch a game together and kind of talk about it and analyze it, but we'll have to do
Yeah,
that soon for sure.
yeah, for sure.
And then after Saturday, it's Nebraska hate week.
It's time to lock in.
That's a team that has looked god awful.
Really bad.
Um,
They play St. Mary's Saturday, and I guess we'll see what they're made of, but they look very bad,
Bethune Cookman. They made Bethune Cookman look really good.
which is a team
And
named Bethune Cookman.
yeah, and I think Nebraska on paper should have won that game by 20.
Yeah,
Granted, we're talking all this sauce, and they beat UTRGV by more than we did.
true.
Um, but they also played FDU. I think we outplayed FDU more than they did.
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's going to be another one of those games where obviously anything can happen because it's a rivalry. But I'm
yeah.
not very not optimistic because I am optimistic that we're going to absolutely destroy
I don't
them.
think they have anybody that can guard Kalkbrenner. I
No, they don't. And
their tallest guys. I don't think they have a 7 footer. I think it's maybe 6'10".
I don't think they have anyone who can guard Pop Isaacs, and I don't think they can have anyone who can guard Stephen Ashworth. And
Yeah,
I think if Fedor Zusic is eligible, um, this is going to be
a beat down.
this is going to be a very very interesting Creighton team. I'm really excited to see it.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Alex, that's all I have to talk about. Um, Before we end, I wanted to play a little game. We kind of talked about it offline. That I wanted to almost implement games into these episodes. And so I'm gonna pull up a list of all American caliber players. Um, and I want you to tell me if you would trade Ryan Kolkbrenner for them.
Oh man, okay.
So we're gonna kind of play this game. Obviously, I think it's gonna be pretty fun.
Yeah.
And we'll just go through it.
I'll
You
say
ready?
before you start this, I don't know if I would trade him for anybody, but try me.
Cap. Would we trade Ryan Kolkbrenner for Cooper Flag?
Oh, see, that's like they don't really play the same position.
No, I'm not going just centers. I'm going just
Yeah.
anybody in general. So it's literally like that's part of it. Is would
Well,
you
here's
rather
the
see a generational type player wearing a Creighton jersey or Ryan Kolkbrenner?
yeah. Well, see, if we lose Kalkbrenner and get Flag, we have to play Fred King at center, and I think that would be a major problem for our team. And he would foul out immediately, and then who's our backup center? But
Isaac
obviously,
Trout, maybe.
yeah. But Cooper Flags, he's very good. He cost them the game the other night against
He
Kentucky.
had two bad turnovers, but
Yes, but
he's
he's
still
going to
a
be really
freshman.
good.
Yeah, he'll be
No,
good.
my answer is no, but he would be very fun to have on the team. But I, we'd lose our center that is our team, so we couldn't do
Yeah.
that.
Would you trade Ryan Kolkbrenner for Hunter Dickinson?
No, and I've had this conversation with multiple Kansas fans, and I just think I'm a kind of a Hunter Dickinson hater. He gets his points, but he's so bad on defense. He's like he doesn't do anything. And Kalkbrenner just sucks into everybody. Like he he's so good. He's so much. I just think he's so much better.
Okay. Now I'm gonna propose a trade. We give up Ryan Kolkbrenner and Pop Isaacs. In return, we get Hunter Dickinson and Caleb Love. Would you take that trade?
Uh, I don't want to say yes, but probably yes. Would
I
you?
wouldn't. Caleb Love shot chucks. I'm kind of
I don't know, but
I'm low key a Caleb Love hater.
Pop Isaac's kind of shot chucks too, and I think Caleb Love's a better shot chucker.
Okay. So you
No,
would
no,
trade
no, I don't know. Probably not. No, but I would really have to think about it. I have to look at some stats.
I don't know. We're gonna have to come up with better trade proposals. I'm trying to think one. I'm trying to think of one right now for Kansas and Creighton, and nothing's really coming to my head. Um,
Yeah, if we could get like a four, like KJ, like
would you trade? I don't know if I would do that. Would you do that? I talked to my buddy James last night about the KJ Adams hate. I think KJ Adams is getting overhated by
he's getting
KU.
if he needs to stop taking pull up elbow jumpers. But if he stops doing that, then I think he's fine.
My biggest bit was during the North Carolina game. Every time KJ would touch the ball, I'd yell, "Shoot it, KJ!"
Yeah,
A bunch of KU fans around me would look up at me, yell at me, give me dirty looks.
well, I had the honor of sitting like almost courtside, and I was watching him warm up, and he shot free throws for like 30 minutes, and it was disgusting. Like his and he does this freaky little pull up jumper thing,
Yeah,
and it's really bad. But other than that, I mean, he plays with so much energy. I really like KJ.
I
He
like KJ. I think he brings a lot to the floor that goes underappreciated by the
I
fans.
would I would trade any of our starting fours for KJ in a heartbeat, I think.
Yeah, that's not that crazy.
No.
Would you do a straight swap? Dewan Harris for Stephen Ashworth?
No, probably not. I
Yeah,
mean,
neither would I.
Dewan can't shoot. I feel like he's getting worse. I don't know.
If you would have asked me this before my freshman year, I would have said duh.
Yeah, if you asked me 2 years ago, a national
But
championship
the answer
starting
is no.
point guard. Yeah,
The
no.
answer is it's quite literally no.
Ashworth can
Like
shoot better. He,
Dewan's a great passer, is the easily the better passer and
yeah,
probably
definitely.
defender and easily
Yeah.
defender. But the stuff that Stephen Ashworth's been able to do and grow as a Creighton basketball player is it's really impressive. I don't think I would do a Dewan Harris
Yeah, I
Stephen
don't have a
Ashworth
problem with
swap.
it. Last year, if you asked me that question, I was an Ashworth hater. I would have absolutely said yes. But
Yeah.
this year, absolutely, I don't know.
Yeah, the answer is no.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, last one. Trying to think of something crazy. Would you do this is insane because we haven't seen him even play yet. Would you do a Fedor Zusic swap for Zeke Mayo and AJ Store?
Um, well, without seeing him play, I would say yes because I really like Zeke Mayo and AJ Store has the high upside too. And obviously, getting two very good players, All American type players for him, yes. But if you give me like a week to watch Zusic, I'd really know how to answer that question. Would you?
No.
I mean, that's kind of
I
crazy.
like Zeke Mayo. I really do. I would just really like to see AJ Store feel a little more comfortable in a Kansas jersey before I further comment. He's still getting used to it. Um,
I
obviously, I
think
think
Zeke Mayo's probably Kansas's best offensive player. He had a bad game against Kentucky
yeah,
or against Michigan
Michigan
State,
State.
but I think well he played so good against North Carolina. I think he's very good. I wish he would have gone to Creighton.
Yeah, that would have been so electric if we could have gotten another Baylor. Because I really do think he would have excelled in our offense.
Yeah,
But that's all of the hypothetical trades I have.
yeah. We'll have to come up with some other stuff
We'll have
to
to come
talk
up with
about.
some other stuff to do. But Alex, that's all I got. I appreciate you taking the time to come talk to me about some Creighton basketball for a little bit. And everyone else, we will see you for a recap of Creighton, Kansas City.